Oh, bloody hell, guys. I did not expect me to do this. I literally am shocked and aghast and very, very outraged and everything else that you could think at this moment in time. This wasn't what I planned, nor was I predicting. But I did plan to do an 80th anniversary of Thomas celebration because of the Railway series passing an historic milestone of 80 years. Because it was historic in the making, but now we've just come out of it. And in just a week or so, and then come back and I hear about this. And the Thomas fandom community has absolutely exploded for the wrong reasons and everything else. Now, if you guys, ladies and gentlemen, are tuning in to thinking, what the hell is this all about? I think the name Skarloey123 comes to mind. Or, better known by his actual name as Richard Jordan. It's really unbelievable to think about because this was one of the guys who pioneered the Thomas SI 3D fandom all those years ago. This was the same guy who made Alfred, the B-17 from Sodor the Dark Years, back when I was still in my prime, when I was learning about how to use trains again and just discovering the trains world of Thomas. And that was a long time ago, and he was still here in 2012, and he didn't do any more content after that, going into the SI 3D style. And then he was silent for a long time. And then it comes to find out that he was still writing stories and everything else with the Thomas fandom, which was good. So he was still active that way. He just didn't make any more content. And now it's come to find out what he's really been doing. Now, I can't say too much about this, but I am just literally shocked about everything, about what he's done, revealing what a monster he really was. Now, I want to give a little shout out to Bradley, the Thomas the Bird and Engine, Trains Tales for this, because that's how I just found out. His link's there in the private chat, so you could listen to what his side of it is, and I'm just going off because literally I am literally outraged and angry. Because honestly, I feel like I just lost a piece of my Thomas Trains fandom life. And yes, guys, Christopher Sly, everybody else, you're reading this right now, it's true. Because it's unbelievable. And I'm shocked about it, honestly. I mean, if you don't believe it, go and look at it for yourself. And if anybody else wants to join in on this right now, I have left a link here in the chat box, because obviously it's my first stream back after a long while. And sometimes being on here talking a lot can actually damage my vocal cords a little bit. So my throat's gone a little bit dry. So if anybody wants to pop in and join with this, be my guest. Pop in and join. Because honestly, everybody is just going around in circles, scratching their heads, tilting their heads, and absolutely can't believe what the hell we've just seen. This was the guy who pioneered Sodor SI 3D, who brought Thomas OCs into the world that we know, which led to other famous people in the fandom doing the exact same thing. I cannot believe it. I mean, I was one of the guys who looked up and idolized Skarloey123 for what he was. And despite all that, his content is legendary. He had a great reputation. And everything he did changed the game of how we know Thomas and Friends in the Train Simulator universe. And to think of what he's done, I literally can't speak the words out because I'm literally, as you can tell by my voice, I am speechless, lost for words, and don't know how to put words into it. I cannot believe it. All the respect I had for him and everything in the world that I thought he was. And when I saw what he finally looked like on the news regarding his offenses and what he's been charged with, it literally dispelled everything that I thought he was. His appearance alone didn't even match what I thought he looked like. And the main question I need to know, I think, and everybody else right now, is the three questions I always say. What was his motivation? What made Skarloey go this far? And number three, and I'm saying this as a theoretical theory, was he too, in the past, a victim of this that's led to him to commit this atrocity on other people as an act of revenge? Because he could have been a victim himself. Maybe he was one when he was young. But at the same time, we haven't even got all the details from the man himself. Everybody's all going crazy about this. It's true in the link of what's been said. And I'm not going to say I disagree because I believe it. But the fact is, we need to know from Richard Jordan, aka Skarloey123, himself. Then we can understand the reasoning, the motivation, and why he has done this. That's how we can get answers. Because there's no point in him staying quiet for long. And I am left worried. I'm partly heartbroken, slightly shattered, and most importantly of all, this has changed SI3D and the Thomas universe forever. Everybody else right now are freaking out and geeking out. Some are thinking, is this the end? Could this be the last time we'll ever use our 2006 and 09 models of SI3D forever? Does that mean we can no longer use our OCs because of the creativity of this son of a bitch who's done this? What are we going to do? And I'm like, in my mind, what does that mean for our OCs? Do we keep them? Or do we have to put it in a side and left to rust away forever? Because right now, I'm at a crossroads. I'm not saying I'm giving up. I'll still do my fanfic writing on Thomas and Friends regardless. Because the fact is, that's how we learn ourselves in the Thomas universe. But still, the 3D stuff may not always live up to the reputations that we all know. But there were other users out there like NWR1991, Shona Productions, Victor Tanzik, Wild Northwester, and some of the other great guys who have done their town stuff. They can still go because they are legends in the industry, you know. And of course, Thomas123, my old good friend who had ultimate respect for me in the fandom still, I think, he still does great content. But we only want to remember Alfred, the B-17, from Thomas123's Pseudo Origin, or even from Victor Tanzik's series, or anybody else who have done their own take on him. That's the only thing I can do. So nothing's changed about my count about that character. But still, you guys there in the chat, guys, I can tell you guys are absolutely pissed and flaming angry with this. But I'm telling you right now, I have never even believed that this would happen. This is the same guy who made the SI3D fandom what it is today for nearly over 20 years or so, or even more. And the viewers I've got here right now, 25 viewers on here. Wow, that is the most you guys have come and do in all the streams I've been doing in my life. Now make that 28. Holy shit, you guys really are tuning in on this. I didn't expect that to happen. But either way, I'm going to put some of you guys in because right now, I am literally getting, broken in the mouth. My voice box is shattering. So I need some of you guys here to fill in the talking role because I am literally about to croak up.
Hello.
Hello.
I want to be ninja.
Guys, you've already seen the link from what I've sent you now, but look at the actual link itself, and when you type about it, you will see what an absolute hidden monster we've been supporting for nearly 2 decades right now. And at this point, I am literally just, believe it. I literally cannot.
Yeah, I'm completely devastated and confused. Why?
Same here.
Guys, you can actually talk around if you like to, guys. Bring your words.
Well, I was waiting for my neighbor working with the chainsaw to shut up, so.
Oh, okay, Sammy. Okay, ma'am. I understand why.
Yeah.
And this is the reason why I don't really do shit with the Thomas fandom anymore.
Well,
People like him. People like him, bruh. This is why I don't
okay.
really do much Thomas content no more.
Well, that's why we do that's why we go for an alternate content. We look for the American stuff and then the engines who don't have any faces. But still, God, 29 viewers. Man, the viewers are swinging in here, lads. I've never had this many.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everybody else in the phone is blowing up the comments, man. I cannot believe it. Like, legit. This is the same guy who made, Alfred, who we all know and love and some hate.
What, the loathed B12?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the exact same guy. The same guy who rewrote Thomas and Timothy a few years back, which helped me do which I hate to tell you this, but this was because of what he did. Richard Jordan unknowingly helped me, in a way, reboot Timothy back to become a good guy because I was done with all the Dark Thomas crap that happened. And I don't think he was aware of that. And now when I found out about this, now I feel double bad about it. But at the same time, I'm just glad that I've rebooted Timothy as a full good guy and not related to what we've seen. So
Yeah.
there's that sorted. But still, this is going on record, man. I mean, everybody in the fandom right now are losing their shit right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I am just shocked. This was my childhood. This was the first Trains guy I ever saw. The second, of course, was Thomas 1, Edward 2, Henry 3.
He was one of the first for me. Well, I was a teenager at that point when I was just getting into the Thomas Train stuff.
I remember Miss 1, Edward 2, Henry 3.
Yeah, he did it much better.
Yeah.
That was back when I was voicing for him. Back when I was doing Winston and and a couple of other random voices. But still, I can only imagine what he's thinking right now if he's just found out about this. And of course, I've heard that Victor Tanzik himself heard about it, but he's hoping it's not true. Unfortunately, if you hear this, Mr. Victor Tanzik, I'm sorry to tell you, but it is true.
Yeah. It's affecting all of us.
And look at this, Big City Studios. Yeah, I can see you, pal. They're right there. And look at what he said here. Everyone's fuming and telling they're all going mad. This is exactly what he was doing. That's exactly what became.
Yeah, he had a family. Like,
I didn't even know he was a married person. I didn't know that. And
and did you hear the worst part? He was a
Crack
doctor,
cocaine.
and he was using that in order to find his victims.
Crack cocaine, chat.
So
Crack is a hell of a thing.
I don't even know he was a doctor. I mean, how could someone like that learn that? Because he doesn't even look like a scientist or whatever the case may be. Unless that's what he was aiming to be, and then this shit happens.
I'm just gonna add some Trains background while we talk because I have
It's
nothing
fine.
else.
It's fine, man, honestly. But still.
Uh-huh.
And then Oliver
I got
Golf
you.
has this. That's fine. The fandom still gets positive feedbacks, that's fine. But this is one of the pioneers of the Thomas Trains fandom, Oliver. This isn't the full fandom, not like from what we've seen in the past. This is different. This is the Trains fandom community we're talking about that's been absolutely demolished from this.
Yeah.
But then I have to
Not
think
just
about what does that
Trains,
for the
but
rest of
Thomas.
us now
I like
that
to say mainly Thomas.
our founder, basically, for lack of a better word, is now like this. People aren't going to trust the adult Thomas fans anymore.
Not many of them. We were a part of this because we were growing up. Because we were still growing, so we're nowhere near this. We're different. We're much better.
I could see a lot of
And that's
backlash
right.
happening to adult Thomas fans.
Though I
because of this.
still like Thomas and other things, and some of my classmates told me that Thomas is the baby show, but I don't even care. I just ignore them and stuff.
Hang on, we got somebody else who's joining us. We got somebody by the name of Wolfmum has joined us here in the down below us.
What? What's the name of their fucking user?
That's I'm just seeing it down below. It's don't know who it is.
Who? No, don't add him, bro. Don't add him, bro. Sounds like a troll.
No,
it's a troll guy. It's a troll.
No, it's not. It's actually someone I can see.
I'm
Must be a
checking.
fan of ours. It could be someone we know of. I don't know, but
It's gotta be a troll gang. Woof. Woof.
that's just a weird name at the bottom.
The
That's all.
name, bro. The name sounds kind of
Yes,
gay.
we have
Oh,
Thomas Cresswell, but I think we have something else we should talk about instead.
What's going on?
Christmas Light is unbelievable. Oh, Wolf Morris said this. The fact that he's adapting, that was one of the ones I first remembered him doing in a long time, and I thought that's when he was coming back. Yeah.
A bit.
I didn't see the comment. I didn't see the comment, man.
That's why it was there.
Light fix. Yes.
Tommy Tanker's popped in too. Unbelievable, brother. Even one of my old fans, the Soda Oil Informed Studios about this too, says to think his iconic videos have become now. Yes, that's one thing. The thing we all thought he was. Well, maybe he was when he was growing up. But maybe as he's gotten older.
Our childhood, Tom.
Maybe the fact is now that he's gone older, maybe the dark side of who he was finally came out. I have no idea what made him do it, what made him possess him to do it, and why.
I don't think I want to know.
The fact is, Richard Jordan, aka Skarloey123, has to give us answers. We need, all of us, not all of us would need it, but we just need to hear from the man himself if he could confess, because there's no point hiding the truth now.
Yeah, because everyone knows.
We all need to hear from him. He should tell us. I don't want to jump the gun by saying he's gonna get all teary crocodiles or he'll show no remorse. I've seen all that bullshit, in past court videos and everything else on YouTube and everything. I've seen how they might react, or they'll just put on a geek show or to try and look innocent or come up with any excuse to try and, to make them look like they're not that bad at all. But still, we do need an answer from him. And I know for a fact that people won't be willing
need
to.
this.
You just can't just slide him and charge him just like that. He needs to go on trial. That's how it should be done fairly. Give him the answer, and that's how he would understand it. Just can't just say, oh, this and that afterwards. All the allegations are here and there, but still, free trial is what he needs, and then we can hear from him. And then we could, and I know the victims aren't going to be happy about it, and I send my deepest condolences to all of them who have been affected. But even they should see through and see what would happen, because this is how you get the bad guys and how you, deal with them. But then again, I can only imagine, if dare not imagine, what's going through Richard Jordan's mind. Maybe the fact he's finally realized he's been caught, and now that he's become, quote unquote, the bad guy he's lived long enough to be in. Sorry if I'm going a bit Batman-like style there with that famous quote. You either die here or you live long enough to see yourself to become the villain. But I don't think that was the case with him. But still. Yeah, I can hear the sword in the tones there, man. That was quite a loud one.
So much of the Thomas and Trains fandom is linked to this man. The fallout is gonna be difficult to recover from.
It will be difficult to recover from. Everybody's been jumping in left and I can't add any more people in. I can only put already up to 5 people to join in. However we're going to recover. I know for a fact I won't recover completely because I'm just giving up ready to prepare myself to go and see Flying Scotsman and Pendennis Castle at the Didcot Railway Centre in order to join their 100th celebration of their first meeting in 1925. And now this has happened, and again, it's just like just when we think we've celebrated 80 years of Thomas and Friends, and we have other happy moments to look forward to in this year as we progress into the summer season, which is beautiful and everything. And just when you get close to something you're excited to see, wanting to go to, this has to happen, and it literally cuts off the excitement. Or basically, it's like when you drive a car and you run it straight first into a lamppost, stopping your momentum. It's that sort of reaction I'm getting right now.
Yeah, I think we can all agree with you.
I could go with this several ways. And oh, goddamn, man. I've been speaking to a lot of my mates about this. They don't know what to think. They are having their own conclusions of what they're going to do. But everybody else at the moment are still freaking out, thinking, is this going to be the end of 06 and 09 models of the Thomas fandom? And are we never going to be allowed to use them again? Some are still considered about still using it, just don't bother crediting it in. Or some might not bother to use it entirely. But I don't know what to do with this, because it affects my Railway Series count of myself as an OC character. Because, honestly, I wasn't really too fond on the 3D engines too much because of the faulty meshes on them. Not to mention some of the engines that are like beyond 06 can still work on my Trains 12 anyway. But still, I don't know where to go with this, and this is going to be a long road to even want to go back on. It's
Here, Ken.
But I don't know what to think.
What to think?
But I don't know what to think personally. But like I said before, and we are living in a day and age where we are hearing stuff and allegations, and if it is true and if it has been confirmed, I mean, it does sound like it has been. But at the same time, if we actually heard deliberately from those who tamed him, and if we heard from the man himself, like I said, then we'd know the truth. You can't always believe everything that you see online all the time, but this is a very serious allegation, and we have to take it seriously. But at the same time, you know, we can't let our personal feelings get in the way of this, and we have to try and see it through. So I'm in an absolute, cluster at this point. Like I said, I'm just trying to hold back how pissed off I am about it. Because this has really changed the SI3D fandom of Thomas and Friends for good. And I don't know who's going to take over from it afterwards if this does come full circle. What does that mean for all of us? The Titans fandom itself. Could this be the end for us?
It won't be the end of me because I still make more content. Something Germany could have.
Patrick, that's one of the things. I mean, that could be that's a big theory. What could have happened?
Commit a crime.
Well, we all know traumatized people can do that, but it still doesn't excuse your actions. I mean, yes, some sympathy can be done, but it still doesn't excuse anyone's actions to do for somebody that they know of. But at the same time, that could have been a theory. Possibly he was a victim of the acts he's committed in order to get revenge.
Like, I'm sorry. Did we hurt you? We didn't even do anything.
Not us. No, you're getting the wrong idea. Not me. I mean, Skarloey123 was terrible. I mean, it's easy. He looks like a terrible person. Now we know what he looks like. But still, we don't even know if it is him. But at the same time, if it is confirmed, and I think it's going to be a very quick one, I've just got that bad feeling in my gut. But right now, lads, everybody right now, left, right, and center, are just losing it. They cannot believe this. But it does seem very legit.
Yeah.
We don't even know if that's even him or if the
charges are even
does
true.
Look like it. Everybody else in the links are showing him. Well, how we don't even know.
Well, I understand that from an point of view, but he's currently being arrested. You know, this isn't just somebody accusing him. They had enough evidence to actually arrest him and put him on trial. So
they need to put him on trial. Well, then we can hear the whole accusation. I'm sorry. Look,
so
I'm sorry.
I don't think it's a matter of guilt or innocence. I think it's more of what are his motivations and how bad it actually is.
Yes, and how did he remain undetected? How long did this affect him? Did his family ever know? Well, I know he's got a married wife and he's got he's a father and all. But I always think, what did his parents think? Unless they're both deceased, I don't know. But still, this is a crazy, crazy batshit time right now. Pardon my language, ladies and gentlemen, but even I'm absolutely just, like I said before, it's like a billion fireworks are just blown off in my head from this relegation, and it was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Even Tommy has told us this too. He only just got his medical license at the time when this was happening. This has been like, what, a month ago? And we've only just come out to know, from what I was told, it's been going on for a month and now it's finally been revealed. So maybe that was then, on April 7th. Yeah, it's been over a month now. So maybe it's already been concluded. I have no idea. Oh, God. Oh, hey there, Oliver. I'll actually be at the Didcot Railway Centre on May 25th, because that's the time Flying Scotsman and Pendennis Castle are going to be steaming. You know, that's the only day I can make it, because the rest of the days I can't make up from because they'll clash with other stuff I've got to deal with.
And I'm actually going to the Tallyland Railway this year, finally
Well,
for Audrey Stravaganza.
Well, congratulations, Sammy. I had a feeling you would make it. Proud of
Get
you.
it just in time, too.
That's the better option. That's how a lot of us should get through with it. Because everybody's been using the mods for their own character OC reskins and everything else.
And when it comes to stories, too, I think we could just rewrite them a bit and, leave the skeleton, and say we could separate the art from the artist.
What we can do is actually, I think what we can do is we could just say SI3D. That's it. Everybody says what models from 06 and 09? SI3D. That's it. That's how we say it. It's just that's my way of getting through it. But still, even the Island of 3D has said this again. This is terrible. We're not spraying for mate. This is like, I'm telling you, this is just something I can't believe. Becoming, yes, that's a big problem. That is a major problem. Unless, like I said, some of them are becoming it that way because they're either deciding to, or maybe they are having past problems of growing up and it finally catches up to them to do it, or maybe they just give in to it, or maybe it's just the fact is that there's something completely wrong and some people hide it for so long and coming out or they're too ashamed to. There is some sympathy in there I can get, but it still does not lay an excuse to do it.
I mean, if that had happened and if he had killed somebody or killed the guy who did it years later, I could completely forgive that.
That's a big question, yeah. I mean, there's some people who do this for false accusations as well, and they come off scot-free. And then there are those who just literally, who have revealed it when they are older, like, elderly people. And to me, that's just so unfair. I mean, we've seen past stars who have that and they end up getting caught and taken after that. And to me, it's just wrong because why take an elderly person? Like when they get older, when they can't move around or they can't even, when they're in their worst health. That's just, to me, wrong. And I think I still think it is, even if they did. But at the same time, it's no excusable. I'm just saying. It's just horrible. Like, I know I'm going back and forth here because I am conflicted with this whole thing. Because this is Skarloey123, aka Richard Jordan. We all looked and idolized. Hell, I idolized this guy when he first started. And a part of me feels like I've just gone with it. You know what I mean? It's like a part of my own train's part of life went, but not completely as a whole. It's like I've got to replace it with something else to keep the wheels going. And remember, whoever this guy is said this. Yeah, we've lost not just the love, we've lost respect for him.
Yeah.
That's the thing you're missing out, man. I'm not saying we're taking it seriously, but it is a serious allegation to take. It's not a laughing matter, pal. Letterix Max, I'm just saying that to you. Ryder Marby, I can see you, pal. Someone's excited to see me. Called Ryan Mobley. Have we met somewhere before? Because he seems familiar. I think I've heard of him somewhere.
I think I'm actually gonna leave now.
All right then, man.
See you
I know
guys.
this has been absolute. This has been unbelievable. But if you want to go, mate, you can, mate. Wesley, you take your time to think it over, mate. It's just this is
All right.
like I said, this is just terrible for us.
Yeah.
Now I have no idea what Kingpin's saying. He's thinking I'm a bad person. Listen, he has haters himself who don't like him either. And he doesn't let that get to him. Hell, I've respected him for what he's done over the years, and he likes what I tell him because I respect his nature and what he does as a creator. I don't know what your problem is, Kingpin, but I literally don't really appreciate what you're saying, pal, because I'm one of his respectful fans who love what he does. I'm sorry, man, but I won't tolerate that. That's just disrespectful.
Yeah, I'm gonna go, man.
Yeah, you better go. It's a bit too much. It's really terrible, man.
I'll talk to you
Still
later.
waiting on my neighbor to finish before I can rejoin.
That's all right, guys. I've got other people who want to join in with me too. Okay. It's unbelievable, man.
Yeah, it certainly is.
I know. I literally don't know what to say. Again, Terminator, I know you're absolutely gobsmacked by it too. I'm just saying. It's just.
Well, actually, more of, like I say, I kind of am out of the loop on some of this stuff because, this stuff I keep track of, stuff I don't keep track of, that kind of deal.
Well.
But from what I've seen from different fandom pages, that kind of gives me some stuff along with a news article and as well. Well,
I'm just looking.
Let's see here. Apparently from, I believe, Fox 8.
Yeah, I'm just looking down again now. Hang on. Yeah, Ryan Mobley. Yeah, he remembers me. Yeah, I think I'm starting to remember who he is now. Old friend. I think he must be an old fan of mine.
I'm looking at some of the comments here, and I've seen Ryan mentioned Turtles and Thomas and Bosher. Yeah. Fun fact: I've tried to actually. I still remember when I tried to audition for one of his videos. Of course, that didn't happen because I was just nervous about doing voice acting, and after what I heard about him, I decided, well, it's not the best to do any VA work for him.
Of course not. I never would go back to Bosher after what he did. That was back then, okay? And there were other guys who were terrible, who I'd never want to go back with because I made my mind up. Because after others who revealed it was a good decision. But this is long before what Skarloey123 was doing. And this is way back in 2017, 8-ish, or whatever it was prior to the pandemic. It was during the pandemic when that crap was happening. But still, heck, here's another thing. We all went through the pandemic, and all of us came out not quite the same. And some of us did stupid things, and some of us become, like I said, we all went through that rough time, and maybe that could have been a contributing factor of what happens to us physically and mentally. Anything could have happened, but still, it's just unbelievable, these allegations. And it does seem legit. Like I said before, we're living in a day and age where we can't always be sure, but this is a very serious thing, and it's no laughing matter either. It's sickening to think that the very founder did what he did. And if he doesn't show any remorse or anything like that, what he's going to do, I will be even more pissed off. I would not be surprised if he does. Oh man. Look, Ryan Mobley. Whoever Total Time Thomas is, I don't even remember him. But Bosch Studios, yeah, he was long gone, alright. He may have come back with a new channel.
Technically, wasn't his thing more of he said some things he shouldn't have versus this crime?
No, it's not. No. With Boscher, he was a loudmouthy, evil, cold man, and he did say racial words because the fans forced him to say it. But his way of being angry made him just as bad. And some of the things he did to his own OC on Hazel and everything else and all that crap that he was going on with, that is just that's, again, a very sick thing. Even though he came back and apologized, I mean, honestly, I had no intention of ever going back to him. It's just that rewatching his content, like I said, I see what he was doing, but it still doesn't make me think like, nah, he could have done a lot better than just ripping off films that we knew of, like Spider-Man 3 and The Lion King 2, and I could see where he was going with it. But the fact is, the only thing I can say is at least it was a good attempt, on paper at least, but overall, that's a no-no. And all the guys who voiced, most of them, they regretted it. Even some of my former friends who I won't speak of had the same feeling as I did. They were regretful of ever actually being in it. But then again, at least it gave an OC like Hazel a moment to shine the fandom to take a likeness. And of course, the voice actor herself, who recently came back because of all the positive feedbacks that most of us fans like us and everybody else gave, made her happy. So that's one thing I will say. But it still doesn't justify the creator. That's the problem. Okay, Robert, that's one thing I will say. We recognize the Thomas Trains fandom and it's broken down, and we can rebuild them. And that's exactly what we've been doing every step of the way. The fandom cracked before once, and that was back when the fandom was breaking in 2017, and it finally collapsed during the pandemic, and then we've slowly been rebuilding it up inch by inch. And here we are on the 80th anniversary, but a new foundation being laid, only for this to happen again, leaving a bad stain on it just as we're about to rebuild. Yes, Casey, it's true. That's what he's been doing. He basically did something I can't say because it's disgusting for me to bring it up. Because honestly, yes, Brian, I remember it now. Oh, of course not. Robert, I'm not going to bring Reese Kendrick into this at all. No. I won't bring him in. I have no intentions of. If anybody else wants to join in, I have, Yeah, everybody in the chat are really going crazy. Of course he was. Bosser was not just a man-child, he was more than that. But he still is, still to this day. I bet he is. But look, I'm not trying to slander on other people, but the fact is, this is about Skarloey123, aka Richard Jordan, okay? This is totally different. We went off the rails for a little bit there, lads. But still. I don't know what the hell made him do it.
I don't either. He had a life I would be jealous of.
And I'm going to be truthful for this. I didn't know he was a married man. I didn't know he was a father as well. So I didn't think he was. I never thought he would get to be that way. And then hearing that he was being a doctor and whatever he was going to use, I thought, oh, well, so at least he's doing something at least besides doing Thomas. Maybe that was the reason why he didn't do any Thomas content since 2012 for like 13 plus years or so. Or whatever, or maybe he was just finished. Or maybe the fact is that he didn't want to make any more video content and just go back to fanfic writing and then just let everybody else do his content. Unless that was his way of saying, I'm done, you guys carry on and you can do use my content out of freeness while he has to suffer for this. I don't know what was going on. Maybe we'll never know. But still, you can understand how I'm feeling about this. I just never expected to do this, stream to tell you guys, because this is coming out of nowhere and just moments after I came back. And I just, my brain has just literally exploded like melting hell to this point. Oh, Strapper said this. That's personally true, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I could forgive Bosher. I could forgive the others, but there's some crimes I just can't forgive, and this is just one of them.
Well, that's the thing with me. I'm never gonna those two guys you mentioned. I can't forgive, and it's hard for me to forget as well. That's the thing with me. I just never want to be around them, and that's for Skarloey123, aka Richard Jordan. I'm not gonna rant, but I'll tell you this: I don't care if you would hear this on the news board or if anybody else would, but I hope you realize that you tarnished your own legacy. I don't want to think you're proud of it. I think you're disgusted by it. But it's too little too late. You can say all you want. You can basically, lay anything that comes out and explain why. Maybe you could give us some truths and you tell everything, but you lost your fan base. You're going to lose your family. And most of all, I think he's going to lose his life behind bars forever. And he's left emotional scars on all of us, and myself included, has been shattered. Oh, God. Damn, that Richard Jordan, man. What the hell happened to him? What the hell came over that son of a bitch? Pardon my French, ladies and gentlemen. But my holding back right now is just too much. That's a true fact. That's what I just said. He's lost his life behind bars for it. Yes, Oliver. That's true. The betrayal never comes for your enemies. That is a true fact. I can't imagine what NWR 1991 is going to think now when he finds out. Because he did a lot of his story adaptations.
I was never really a big fan of him. We had a whole disagreement. I tried to get him to apologize, said I felt like he said some things he shouldn't have, and then he offended me again, or not offended me again, kind of insulted his whole entire fan base. And I said, you know what? I tried to talk about this reasonably with you, and it didn't work.
It's funny because I remember back in 2015, he did that whole thing with Timothy the Ghost Train, which at the time when my movie was getting popular, and he did one of it, and it said it wasn't related to me or whatever, which everyone was talking about. And it was funny because I was talked about a lot in the comments. Even I was in there for a while, and it became the most commented video on his channel. It became a laughing joke, and I was happy with that because at the time I still loved what NWO 91 was doing. And honestly, I thought it was quite funny. And I still think it's a funny joke reference, honestly. At least in a way, he kind of was aware of what I was doing there. But still, I will be absolutely shocked when he does find out, or maybe he has found out. But I can only imagine what's going through their heads. I can imagine what's going through Victor's head. Thomas 1, Edward 2, and 3, I can only dare imagine what he's thinking right now because that was someone I was very close to in the fandom. And I honestly think, oh man, I can only imagine what he'll say. And I'm thinking about what Victor's going to go with. And then I hear, I look back on some other guys. What would happen if one of Wester finds out? Oh my God.
Kane, Thomas 1, Edward 2, and Henry 3 just put out a post 2 hours ago about the, Skarloey123 thing.
Oh, so he's already just found out about it?
Yeah, the post came out. Thomas 1, Edward 2, Henry 3's post came out, a couple hours ago.
Oh,
Can you link it in the comments? Or
oh wow.
chat?
So we only just.
I'll put it here in the private chat.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just. Okay, I can only. I can just only imagine what's going on.
As for Victor, he has yet to say anything.
Well, he was told himself. At the same time, last time he was saying, he said like he was going to cast Skarloey123 in a video thing he was doing, and he's hoping it's not the same person. But unfortunately, he's going to have to be told the truth. It is the same person, and I can only imagine how pissed off he's going to get. Like I said, I can't believe it.
Neither can I.
I'm just going to carry quick. Okay. Oh, see, that was the post he said. I thought he was going to do a vid about it. Damn, he really is pissed off. God. Some people are thinking he's associated with this guy. He's disgusted about that.
Oh, wait a minute. I just realized that also might mean people will think Victor is also associated with him because
Nope.
Alfred used from, I don't remember when his first appearance was. I do remember his last one being the Stories of War.
But the thing is, Alfred was never associated as a bad character. He ended up just dying a hero.
Yep, and different. I believe different. Well, I'm also not mistaken. Wasn't he also a attempted representation of one of the Railway Series engines by any chance, or
I'm not sure.
just mistaken?
And also the guy who voiced Alfred in it as well, Darth Will, who was one of my fans as well. I can't really imagine what he's going to think. Despite he had a controversial legacy, but he was one of the best actors out there. Not to mention, like I said, Darth Will. He was the one who did Alfred in Railway
I remember
Origins.
that. I just don't remember the controversy.
Yeah, I wasn't even aware of it either. But like I said before, I think there's only one way we can say this. I feel like Alfred is either going to be unnamed now and go by his old number name, or he's going to be gotten rid of again. Unless no one bothers using the model ever again, because I've seen different versions of Alfred in different forms which were much better. That suited my character a lot better, because I only see Hazel as the B12, because in real life, she's real in real life, real counterparted, and Alfred's just a complete fictional number 3.
I've forgotten that there's still one LNER B12 still around.
Yeah, that's the real Hazel. It has the same number as her. That's actually Hazel for real. Okay, Mark, I can see you there, mate. Honestly, you're in the chat box. Yeah, was one of the few in the contest. Damn.
As for what may happen to Alfred, I'm suspecting maybe he might get probably torn away from his.
There we go. I think
torn away from the Alfred name and class of locomotive he originally was.
Well, in my head canon, Alfred and 98462 were separate engines, because honestly, I felt like, having the two in the same would be weird and confusion. So I made 98462 in my canon a very different engine, and he was more evil than Alfred was. Like I said before, in my head canon, he was a B12, and in mine, he would have died anyway, just during the wartime period. Because he gets scared of my OC character. But now I'm thinking, should I just rewrite it and call it 9462 again? You know, I'm not sure how I'm going to go about this now with my new timeline, unless I have to, you know. But at the same time, I've used different versions of Alfred. You know, I just never used the 06 one. I feel like I need to. I feel like now that I think about it, I think I did at one point a long ago when I could get him to work. But I feel like, I don't know, man. I feel like I need to redo my Soda Origins all over again about my character now.
You know, I just thought about something, but if you were ever to do a B12, what if you named it, I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce the name right, I think it's Bay or something like that, which is, if I recall, one of the companies that produced at least produced one of the, at least multiple, at least, of the B12, so we're around during its time, the S69s.
Not sure about that Terminator, but I'll keep that in mind. But at the same time, I do feel like something will come out. At least Croven, aka 87546, has come out unscathed. Because he was, I feel like because I think the first time we ever saw what he looked like was basically in the Soda Origins as a B17, I think, or a hybrid. You know, I just don't know how we're going to get through this now. It's a complete. I definitely will tell you this. My Soda Origins with Guarding Alfred now is completely shut up. So I feel like I need to completely redo my origin story all over again.
Oliver, I just saw your comment there. That may be an issue because, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there was a LNER A4 that's named after Sir Nigel Gresley.
That's okay. Sir Nigel Gresley is still around. He's a good guy. It's okay, Chris. It's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry, dude. Why would you feel sorry for him? You shouldn't feel sorry for someone like that. That's disgusting. You should never feel sorry. I'm sorry. That's just wrong. I'm sorry, man.
I feel sorry for his family, though.
Yes, that's one thing I will say, but not the man himself. I think Thomas 123 came with the name for Croven because that's how I felt. I think he's the name of the crane. It just stuck, and everybody recognizes him for that.
Oh wait, excuse me, man. I just remembered something. I entirely forgotten that Alfred kind of did make an appearance in I think some of Mr. A the Hedgehog's work as well.
Oh, him! Oh, Jesus Christ!
I haven't thought about him in a long time.
Yeah, that's been a long time.
Fellas feel old.
I know. I need to have a shout out here. I just need to let you know, Bradley Thomas Burton, Train Tales, mate. I know we haven't speak much or whatever, but I want to let you know, pal. Thanks for explaining what happened and how I found out. So again, thumbs up to you, man. I appreciate that. I couldn't believe it either. I mean, the way he was speaking in the video, what he was doing. Let's just say that's kind of like how I'm trying not to feel now, because honestly, that is how serious I took it.
Honestly, I think this is the worst thing that's happened in the fandom in a very long time.
Oh, it has been.
Like, since the loss of Brett Alfcroft minimum.
Well, I wouldn't say I don't remember that, but jeez, man. I don't know how we're going to get through this. Like I said, I'm not sure how we can recover it, and I don't know what everybody else on their own websites, on the Thomas forums, like every site who have got these models and everything else. I'm not so sure, man. Hey, I remember Simon AC Martin. I remember him.
Also, you might have made me feel low when you mentioned Butterfly Coffee.
Yeah, Butterfly Coffee was somebody else who, again, great voice actress, and she does do a heck of a good job. I'll say it's a bit mixed. Like I said, I respect her content and what she does, but like I said, that's just me. Okay,
Well, she was a terrible person.
maybe she can be, but when it comes to voice dubbing, that's what separates their real life, and that's how we should remember them. But at the same time, people change over time in life. Again, I don't know. I'm trying to remember who Simon AC Martin is as well, because that I remember him pretty well by name. Dark DJ Productions of wow.
I'll be right back.
Oh
I think
wow.
Dark DJ Productions still makes content though, pretty regularly.
Why does his name sound like a very retro YouTube user I know in the earlier years? It just sounds like a retro name. It really does.
His Strange series is in like season 11 or something. So.
Oh, hang on a minute. I think I'm remembering somebody else with that name. Oh god, there's so many names I can remember, but it's so hard. Some of them are so big to pronounce. Again, I have no idea what's going to happen. I mean, I'll still keep the SO3D models around. The only problem is I'm not sure how we're ever going to use them the same way ever again. But then again, they represent what we would look like if we were in the Thomas universe, I guess. I think we're just going to have to rebuild our content all over again. That's the only way I see it. Hey, Longwing22. I mean, if you want to know what's happened to old friend, you gotta look in the private chats there for you to see. And they are good models, the 06 and 09 modeling and everything else. Don't get me wrong, they're good. I just will never be able to look at them the same way. I, for one, may not be able to play on them for a long time, but then again, there are other guys who have made revamped models of them, which are so better, and they would never, I just got a very bad feeling that everybody else in the servers, as I've seen, they're all scratching their heads, and some are angry, and some are taking it with a grain of salt. But at the same time, for us older fans who have been there from the very beginning, we don't know how we're gonna get through this. I literally don't know how. And like you said, Sammy, this is the worst thing in the fan that's happened in ages. Since the whole thing that happened in 2020 when the fandom literally crumbled over after so much happened. This, to me, I feel like has kind of shattered the original foundation of it. I know I'm going to drama-wise, but the fact is oh, god damn. Well, I don't know what, I'm out of words. I'm not sure who else I'm going to put in, but I'll see if I can get some of you guys to join, because I'm running out of words here. Yeah. Hey, Tommy Tanker, welcome aboard.
Hello, it's great to be here.
I know.
I just want to say I'm really sorry about what happened. It's going to be really hard to recover from this, but I'm sure over time that we can get through this together.
Yeah. Oh shit, I remember YouTube user Fluke Girl got busted for. Oh wow, I remember that character. Yeah, she got busted for the same thing too. Holy Christ, I remember that. Look, Diago Chains, don't feel bad for Skarloey123. Feel bad for the family that he's now lost.
And I am going to go because I had to unplug my laptop in order to, get away from the noise, and I kind of am running out of battery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'll just put my charger into making it load.
Yeah, plus I've got nothing left I could add, really.
No.
I mean, I might come back, who knows.
I think I might be over by the time you get back.
Yeah. See you later, everyone.
See you, lads. Yep. If you don't believe what's been going on, look, just go in the like I said, I've left it here in the chat. It's really bad. Here, just listen to it here in the private chat. And the boys has been hotel. Go in the private chat, and there's your answer. That gives you the little details of what we're dealing with. I'm gonna see if okay, Mark, I can see you under there, pal. I'm gonna bring you in, but just bear with me. Okay? I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I literally just don't believe it, man. I literally just cannot. Again,
It's
just like I know it's hard, man. Honestly,
it's
but if you want
devastating. Like,
okay, I'll bring you back in, Mark. Okay, I remember you somewhere. Your icon looks a little different. Yeah, Flying Fox and the Bambi production. I know who he is. He's also, I think he's one of my old fans. I'm pretty sure. Okay, hey Mark. It's been ages, but welcome back. It's me, man. You can unmute yourself if you want to. It's fine. It's unbelievable. You know, after what's been going down, it's just terrible. Like, I'm really out of words. Can't, it's just.
honestly, don't know what to say either. I mean, like, he's been a part of like many childhoods, and to see that he's just done something like this is unbelievable.
To think, this is the exact same guy that brought and pioneered the whole thing with Thomas Train to life for so long, for nearly 20 years. And then this had to happen.
It's really sad because I really liked the videos that he's done, but to see that this has happened, it's hard to go back.
I am concerned about the whole thing now. I mean, is everybody in the fandom going to stop using them? Like, are people going to delete their models of not want to use it because they were, a reminder? I don't know.
Honestly, I can see that, yeah, because I really love those models too, but like after hearing about this, I don't know if I can look at them the same.
I don't think none of us will look at them the same way ever again. I can guarantee you that. But it's just really is heartbreaking, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, I tried to hold back my tears, man. I nearly broke down a few times during this stream because I can't believe what we've been seeing and what we've heard.
I feel like the best thing we can do now is try to move on from it. Maybe if you still want to use the models, you can, but maybe it's best to just maybe use other models. There's still a lot of great models out there by other people.
We can still do that, I guess, but at the same time, I am worried of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure how we're going to go about this now.
I'm sure everything's gonna be fine. We'll recover from this eventually, but it is like it's gonna be really hard to get through this.
Like I said, I am running out of words to continue with this, but this has been terrible, man. Dreadful. Oh no, beyond dreadful. This has really destroyed, the fandom as we once knew. I mean, it was never going to be the same when we came out of the pandemic, but one thing I would say, that one of the originals, Skarloey123 doing this is just, again, I always keep saying this. I have no idea what motivated him, what the reasons for, or what could have made him want to go down that way. I mean, and yet to think that he was a married man, a husband, and a father.
That's
and
even
to do
worse.
this,
Like,
I know. And
what's
that's,
what about what's the kid gonna think? That's what I'm worried about. Like,
I don't
about
know if he's got, I have
kids.
no idea if he's got a son or a daughter or he's got both. I have no idea. I didn't even realize he was. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I didn't know because I never thought he was capable of being married or finding love or in his life. Or was this scar, or was these final scars of his past that may have finally come to life and he's doing this? I can only I wouldn't not say I'm speculating, but I can only theoretically think if I was in his shoes, but at the same time, as a professional Thomas fan, I'm personally hurt by all of this. I simply still have no idea what motivation, what state of mind he was in to do this. And and like I said before, if he gets a fair trial, we could finally hear from him, get the words out of his mouth, and just, hear the truth. And that's how you deal with it. You hear the truth, and then you get the closure, and that's that. It's not like we're going to think of like, oh, he's been captured, and then all of a sudden he'll be charged, like he has done. And then what's he going to do behind bars? Is he going to try and do what most do to find the easy way out, taking the coward's way out? Or is he really going to really man up and really know how badly he screwed up? Like,
I don't know. I hope he takes this as a lesson and learns from this. Like, I really do, because
I'm worried about that because, not for him, but I don't want that to be the case where he's going to, because that's what most fans will do. I'd see them do this on, the TVs, where the guys get captured and they end up, taking the easy shortcut way out to end it all. And it frightens me, man.
yeah.
But like I said, I don't know what's going to happen, what the future's going to be in store for the fandom, and who will actually fill in that spot, who will actually lead SI3D into the future, and are we going to see a return rise of what the Soto fandom can be, and make it a much more better place for us people, for some of us true fans to live our lives the way we want it to be, and not with people who actually have hidden pasts and end up being hidden bad guys that end up showing who they really are. And it worries me. And everybody else, there are some people below us in terms of our own who are doing far worse than we ever did. And yet, modern day society doesn't seem to know always the truth. They always just do this to make it up and to ruin someone's professional career or livelihood. And that can happen. But this doesn't seem like it's been made up. It looks legit real. Like I said, this does sound serious and not one that hasn't been made up, like I said. But are you coming to find out about all of this? It's like we said in that link about what he did, committing an act that's too sickening for me to say because I can't say it because it just feels wrong.
Yeah. I really hope that someone could probably fill in the gap someday. Who knows? Maybe
Yes.
we'll find someone eventually. Hell, maybe even I can try and start doing models and stuff. But
what's going to have to happen is I really feel like the fandom needs a complete re-overhaul again. And honestly, SO3D I think it can still continue, but a major change needs to happen.
Yeah.
The SI 3D models can still be usable, but I think a new owner needs to step in. I
Yeah,
think,
definitely.
or perhaps, or maybe the fans like us who know them so well can take full advantage, and we can preserve them.
One thing that I have to say would probably be like, I'm nervous for like the Trainzy Thomas community, honestly, especially for like popular or people that use Trainzy, like Victor Tanzik and some others.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh, definitely, yes. That's right, Mark. That's another thing I'm concerned about. The update games for the old models and everything else. That's definitely going to be an issue.
Like, I don't think there's really, you can't really. I've never used Trainzy before. I don't know if you can trust models on it, but honestly, what else? What? Oh my god. So, what other models could you use, honestly? Especially since the 26 and 09 models are probably the most well known and most popular.
Well,
Oh.
my only best option is if you go on and have a look at Walden or Wester's models, or
Yeah.
perhaps that's the second best option, or you can even go to Soda Workshops. They have some
Yeah.
really good. They've been around even longer than or whatever. But like I said, many guys can go their own ways about it. Again, seeing the 06 models, they've been original for so long, and then when the mesh editing era came into play, I think that could help us get through it, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Maybe do
Because,
our own takes on the models and stuff.
well,
Modify
lately, well, the
things.
recent guys who I've been seeing have done fantastic. Like, you've got, like, some of their engines nowadays in 06 form are resembling their Railway Series looks even better. There's guys like, I feel like one of the best I know of. Like, I'll take one guy, for example, Max the Model Dude. He is, in my opinion, absolutely damn awesome. He's turned some of the Railway Series into 06 and made them what they would look like prior to coming to Sodor and what they look like now. And then there are other users.
I think I've seen some of those models. Yeah, they look really
Yeah,
nice.
like look what he did to Gordon and Edward. They look exactly accurate to what they would have looked like in 06 form in the railway books. And he even did a few engines like what ifs, like what if Henry wasn't an Atlantic properly built. He's just did an update of him having a rebuild, but still having an Atlantic look, which I just discovered, which was bloody awesome. And there are other guys out there that can do it too. Like, I mean, SI 3D Reborn is another one, which is really better than the original. Still, that's just my opinion. But still, at the same time, oh man, it's really going to be a difficult challenge for the fan to really, really step up. Bond there, lads. Yeah, Christopher Peak. Yeah, I know. I think a lot of us feel this way. Well, I'm gonna have to end this eventually because right now I'm reaching my peak at this point. So I'm getting a little bit worn down. But this was not the stream that I thought I would do, guys. In the aftermath of the 80th anniversary of Thomas and Friends, which I was planning to do, but I've been caught up with a lot of other things regarding family and whatnot and other personal stuff that I can't really talk about because it's a bit depressing. But at the same time, guys, thank you guys for tuning in with this one stream we won't look back on. But at the same time, I feel like we witnessed an end of an era almost. But with that being said, this is Kane Fan 701. Until the next time.